Upgrades. Hey everybody, welcome back. Nat and Terrell back for another review for episode 5, Damane of Will
Damane.
of Damane. I kept trying to figure out how to versus the accent mark there. Damane of Wheel of Time, episode 5. And we were just talking before we got on, and I gotta say, this is probably the best episode that I've seen this season thus far. Like this is I don't know how they're gonna top this.
Yeah, I have to say this is my favorite episode too so far. This actually tops episode 4 last year, which is saying something. So I am definitely looking forward to the rest of this season. There's just so much that happened in this episode alone. I mean, new characters,
right?
Name dropping. Ooh, my little book reader got inside of me, just got excited.
I was very like, I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, there's no possible way they fit all this in this episode within an hour. And they used every minute of it too, because like they put a lot. Everybody gets a scene almost in this entire show. I mean, this episode. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're back. We're talking about episode 5. We're gonna do a spoiler review. So obviously, if you're watching this in this title spoiler review, you know that we're gonna go through the episode. We're gonna break it down for you. We're gonna give out our opinions. Well, you already know we liked it, but give out of the episode by the end of it. This is gonna be week to week, every week. So hop on, ask questions. We'll answer them next show. We'll have the whole thing. So we start the show. We start this episode off. And oh my god, the set design. I don't know how much of it is green screen and how much of it is actually like practical, like sets being built, but it looks so good. Like coming into this episode, the lighting of the show, that's half the problem. That's half my issue with the show. It's always so dark. There's always so many night scenes. Like, can we get some more stuff in the light here so I can actually see? I don't got to cut all my lights off to not have a glaring effect of the darkness. But that's just my problem. I'm sorry. But yeah, we start our episode off coming into this beautiful city. We are introduced to High Commander Turak.
Yeah, High Lord Turak. Yeah.
I'm sorry, High Lord Turak as we come into it. And I feel like this is kind of where we come in at the beginning of this. Like I was confused because like I don't know what the symbolism was or what it meant for her to get her nails clipped in this episode after going out of bounds, doing what she wasn't supposed to. She wasn't supposed to be in that village in the first place. We see it was I almost said Logain. Logain's a different character.
Are you talking about Loyal?
No, the male dark one.
Oh, Ishamael. I call him Ishi for short. So
but yeah, he whispers to her like, chill out, go ahead and take that nail, and unfortunately she winds up paying the price for his decision to go to the village and everything else, and gets her nails cut. Now that's something I wanted to ask you was somehow they just all have the ability to extend their actions. Is that their actual nails, or is it like a device they're using? Because it seems like they had something on top of their nail.
I always thought it was like a device that elongates their nails, at least for the show.
Okay.
As far as in the books, this is where my memory doesn't serve me very well. So I do remember the long nails. I do remember them, signaling and all that good stuff. But as far as if those are really their nails, I really wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm sure the book readers in the comments will be able to tell you with that this is the minute details that I'm just like, even with all the rereads, I'm just not, it's not computing for me. So unfortunately, I cannot really answer that question diligently as well as I would like. But I do, if I can recall, it's, I think they are real nails. But I could be wrong. Because and even I was confused when I was reading it, if they were real or not. So that lets you know right there that I don't really know. So I'm mumbling now. So please keep going.
I guess, like I said, my question was just kind of like, what the nails meant, and because they don't. This is our second time seeing this race of people as they come in. So I didn't know if that like the long nails are like a sense of like like royalty with their people, or
Not
just
royalty, but definitely rank. So if you notice that Lord Turak had like gold like her nails, and hers was regular, but they were long. So you can see kind of like from his point of view, he was higher than she was. So the nails are significant as far as rank goes in their society.
okay, because that was bothering. I know they're probably going to explain it later in the show if they have time, but I just definitely wanted to know about that. So yeah, we we get into that. She gets her rank pretty much taken away, and they have the whole scene at the beginning where they're talking, and we find out that she is loyal to her dark masters, as we find out everybody is apparently in this episode. Can't trust nobody, as I did a lot of gasping throughout the episode, because I should have known. That's what I said to myself the whole time. I should have known better.
It was kind of revealed, at least for Leandrin last week, what was happening with her. Because as soon as she knocked the girls out and then they switched to men,
right.
Ishamael was the person that she was supposed to meet, that Leandrin said someone's going to meet her. So that was a major clue right there that Leandrin ain't kosher. So it was even more prevalent this episode.
No, definitely. It was no hiding it at all.
I was like, rock the black, Leandrin, rock the black.
right after that scene, we get into more of our favorite daughter of the night, Selene. She's getting into it with our favorite romance novel cover guy, Rand here. When they were on top of that cliff, I said this looks like the cover of a romance novel, or like this is like an extra scene for what's that show, Outlander. That's what it looks like a little bit. But yeah, those two are just so cute, and that type of romance just obviously can't last long, as we see as they're getting it on here. And guess who comes in and spoils the party? Moiraine herself, as she slits her throat right on top of him, which he was just so cool. And she says, "Let's get up out of here." Wild scene.
It's at night. There's horses and running, and Celine's not happy. So I did want to touch on this because how she revived herself, if you notice the black ink or the power, so to speak, that revived her, and what your thoughts were on that, or your guesses as to what that could be.
So I'm thinking she's just a completely different being altogether from I thought what I had down, because completely separate. I don't think she's human. I don't think any of them are. I mean, I guess I don't think that any of them are human, and I don't know anything going into this going forward. I have nothing to go off there, but like I don't think they're regular humans wielding the one power. I think they have to be like some different demon being or something like that if they're able to heal themselves to that extent. If the one power does give you the ability to heal yourself like that, that's crazy, because they've shown small heal so far, but not to that extent while you're dead.
Okay.
But that's my theory on it.
Yeah, so I thought that was well done. I know exactly what that is. So they are human for the most part. They're just very powerful because they lived in the age before the breaking of the world. So that's how long they've been around. They've just been sealed with the Dark One, and now at least two of them are now free completely in the real world, or the modern world, so to speak. So so there's something else going on with Selene, why she was able to heal herself that way, and why that particular power is black. They didn't explain in this episode, so unfortunately I can't really reveal what that is.
That's I suppose for next episode, or probably not next episode.
Probably not.
She definitely comes in. She's more interesting than I thought she would be, because I was just like, I'm not really buying this whole thing from episode. But not that I didn't see the twist coming a mile away, but I just legitimately thought that there was some love there. But we don't know anything just yet. I mean, that's kind of where we leave off, but we'll see when we get there. like I said, like you were saying, Moiraine and Rand are being chased by Celine, who we thought was headless, and somehow she's running through. I just wanted to say, the lady who rented the horses didn't deserve what she got. I just completely unnecessary. The one guy on the horse didn't need to get his head cut off. I just felt so bad.
I mean, you're dealing with the Forsaken. I mean, what'd you expect? These are evil beings. Like, these are evil people. They don't care. They're ruthless and they don't care. And I love it. Like, as far as, yes, it was cruel and yes, it's messed up, but this is Lanfear. She don't play. And we're seeing it in this episode. She don't play.
I see she's not playing at all. We got Perrin and Elias fleeing away from where we last left them off, after he got him out of the cage and was like, "I just got you, not your boys." And this man has the nerve to feel some type of way about it. Like, you could have just left me. I don't get Perrin sometimes. I don't know if he wants to be alive, he wants to be dead. He wants to repent for him killing his family accidentally. I thought we got past that. Like, it's going to be a thing, but Elias definitely gets into more of explaining what his anamorph power is about to be and how he can use it. I guess my question is, it's not on this episode itself, how much power at this time does Perrin actually have control of? Because it's very unclear as to, can he do it, or is he just choosing not to?
He's kind of instinctually doing it, so he has a better kind of understanding what he is, but he's not really embracing it. Right. But he can't help himself but embrace it, at least at times of stress and danger, or just being able to see things further away than normal, being able to smell. And in this episode, we correlate kind of like what he's smelling to visualizing what he smelled. So back in episode 2, we thought that him, visualizing what happened with the merge wall and all that stuff was, maybe the wolves or something like that, because of how Elias explained it in last episode. But what we're realizing is he's smelling, and a picture or an image pops up what he's smelling. So when Hopper's the best boy, follows him, because, Perrin's stubborn. The Emmett Builders or the Two Rivers folk are stubborn. They are. So Perrin isn't willing to embrace right now who he is. And Ishamael talking to him isn't helping matters. Or when he spoke to him in episode 3, that didn't help matters as far as embracing who he is, even though he knows he's the father of lies. Right. But I digress. So when Hopper, tries to like lead him to where Uno was, he sniffed, and that's when the image popped up. So that's a visual representation of what he smelled.
Oh, that was a good way of showing that. I don't know how you guys were able to pick that up in the book. Sometimes I got to really describe that. But I think they visually showed it very well. I think that was very
well. They have to do a visual representation because he's sniffing. What is he sniffing? What like you can describe it like with exposition, but that doesn't help matters. We need to see it look cool. So him visualizing it is cooler.
Definitely. Like I said, he's explaining to Perrin, he's going to have access to ability. He's going to be able to do access to ability soon. He asked him, was his eyes going to turn a certain color? Which, he can always hear the hesitation in his voice when he says eventually, like he doesn't want, like you said, to embrace that change or, become an outcast, like, as he already is. So, it's just, you can definitely hear the fear in him as they're talking.
Yeah, it's an understandable fear. Like what he knows, what he's lived with his entire life has been upended. And at the end of the day, he did lose his wife. Now, Elias did not have to go the route of saying, well, your wife wasn't your pack. To him, she was. So for him to kind of be callous about that, and Elias has a habit of just speaking his mind, and he doesn't necessarily need to speak his mind sometimes. So in this case, he kind of went too far with it. Like, it was bad enough you were talking about his home, but now you had to talk about his wife who's dead. Like, nah, you should have known that he would have been like, get out my face. And then, of course, the wolves were like, back up, bruh. So, so he had to like go his separate ways. And at the end of the day, he's been traveling with Loyal. He's been traveling with, you know, the Shinarans, and he considers them, you know, friends at least. And it's kind of like you're loyal to your friends to a degree, to the point where you want to make sure they're okay.
Right.
And that's an understandable emotion. Elias has removed himself from humanity. He's been living with the wolves, so of course he's not going to see it that way. This is someone that's trying to learn his powers, but he hasn't, he has, you know, he's human. He has human feelings. He has human connections. Elias removed himself from humans for a long time. So this is the first probably human in a long time that's like him that he's actually probably interacted with. So there's a little bit leeway here. Yeah, y'all both gotta learn something from each other.
No, I don't want this to be like I don't want to. I mean, it's a general actual question, but as far as the show has shown, are only people of color able to like, wield this power, or does it kind of just doesn't matter? That's just the actors they picked in the show.
The actors they picked on the show, which I am very happy about, to be quite frank, because this is probably the first time in a fantasy show that I've seen where we have a Black mentor and a Black mentee. Now, we have Black mentors. You know what happens to Black mentors. So I'm really happy that we got who we got playing these characters, because this is something new and refreshing, at least to me. And real talk, as far as the characters, I was low-key hoping Perrin would be Black if they were going to cast like a diverse cast of people. Perrin and Nynaeve were the people that I was like, I really hope they're Black. I'm very happy to say that they are.
I'm assuming in the book they probably describe hair texture, stuff like that.
They do. The thing is, though, for me, I always thought they could kind of go either way, but I mean, except for Rand. Like, Rand was obviously like maybe white, and as far as like the facial features and like the actual skin tone, some are a little more obvious than others, but then others you probably could have gone either way. And that's where I'm like, when people were like up in arms, they should be this. No, we could be open. It's okay. Yeah. And there's different cultures that are a little more featured than others. And for me, you know, as a Black fantasy reader, it's like one of those things where, yes, some cultures were featured, but their storyline wasn't that great either, or it wasn't extended or expounded upon. And so for me, I need a balance as far as a diverse characters who are good guys and bad guys, and the colorism aspect of it too. Like, so far, you're towing the line there, Wheel of Time, a little bit, because but at the same time, we are getting what we're getting. So right. It's like, I'm happy, but I'm like looking at you sideways too.
I mean, it's changing. I mean, obviously, from from Doctor Who to, whatever. I mean, we definitely are starting to see more casted people of color in these shows. I mean, it's good, and definitely in more prominent roles. So people going to have to take that L and just be mad about it, like you said. But we're talking about Perrin again, and him being able to see visions of like people dying, particularly his friend. I feel like everybody that's seen their friend died at this point. Like, at this show, had some vision of their friend dying at this show at some point, at least 3 more times. A future prophecy. I mean, this show is all about prophecies, man. Like, that is the theme of the show. Like, everybody has a prophecy at least once. And I wrote this down because I didn't want to miss this particular scene. But I wrote, "This guy is still alive." Wow. And I can't remember his name. I just know
Valda.
You said
Harold Valda.
Valda. Okay. Didn't he? I'm sorry. Didn't he die like last season, or did I miss that?
No, Blaine stabbed him in the back. He could have totally lived for that.
And I remember him getting bit.
He didn't get bit.
Okay, I just remember the
It
scene.
was someone else. Like the wolves did attack the camp, but they
Okay.
didn't necessarily attack him. He got stabbed in the back by a Gwen, and you can easily survive a stab in the back.
I've never been stabbed before. I don't know.
Well, okay, the way that she stabbed him and what she stabbed him with, it wasn't hitting. It didn't go. It wasn't. It wasn't Moiraine. He didn't get Moiraine. So that was all the way through, and the knife or the sword was longer. So that was a clear kill, but that's not what happened with Valda.
Can I just say the Moiraine like is just so stone cold. The way she just slit that throat, like without her power, she is still like ridiculous. Like her attitude doesn't change. Like she had her moment where she was just like, "Look, I ain't got it, but work still got to be done around here." You know what I mean? So like, look, I don't know, for the fact that she ran up on knowing how powerful this woman is, that she did that was insane.
Well, I mean, homegirl was occupied, so
indeed she was.
So she wasn't even thinking someone was going to pull up and just be like, "Slit my throat." But but with Moiraine and Rand, Moiraine actually goes to her sister's house, and it's funny when this is the first time Rand actually gets a glimpse of Moraine's home life or into her past a little bit by meeting people that are her family.
Right.
Whereas you have Aes Sedai, they're intimidating. You don't really think that they have family, or there's just these beings with power, and they're like in the White Tower, and they're nosy, or they're just all up in people's business. And they use the one power, but you don't think of them as someone that has a family or someone that has a past.
That's what the last two episodes have kind of been touching on is, not only the family and the past of Aes Sedai, as we see with Leandrin and her son, Moiraine and her sister, and and everybody just kind of letting I don't want to say dealing with the past, but not only that, but they touch on the one power slowing down their age too, so they're aging slower and watching everybody kind of fade away, and they get into I don't know if this episode last one where they get into kind of like how do you deal with it? How do you she's like, okay, you just hold on to like one thing at a time, and you deal with that. But like you said, like seeing Moiraine and her sister, they keep saying, "Oh, that's my older sister." I keep thinking, "Oh, yeah, that's right. They have this ability. They don't age." You see her sister's son, and her taking care of that family. I really hope those people don't get killed. By the way, going into her family, Moraine's family, I really hope they don't get. Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know too much about the sister because this is something that's kind of new. So I am glad that we are getting to explore a little bit more of Moiraine and her family members. Because I definitely loved the scenes last week with her and her sister, and I definitely love them again this week because she gave her advice that she normally gives, and it's kind of like it helped her refocus, which I thought was good. And Lindsay Duncan is I've seen her in so many things, and she's such a good actress. So it was like two powerhouse actresses like in a same scene together. It's just, you can't go wrong with that.
No, everybody was putting in the work this episode for sure. It was definitely some scenes like
yeah, I definitely want to talk about Ishii and Lanfear scenes, but we'll get to that.
We did, like I said, we see old girl get her mouth sewn shut. Definitely tragic moment. And then we have the fight scene with Perrin as he lets God, I wrote her name down.
Aviendha.
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 And Aviendha, she lets her out the cage.
That's my girl.
Which I thought for sure she was going to portray him and kill him, or she was working with them. And I was about to say, hey, this.
No, I don't care for white cloaks. If you recall, Rand's mama, she ain't gonna play with no white cloaks. So, and plus they had her in a cage. So, or they kept her in a cage. So, she wasn't gonna. She ain't gonna play. She ain't messing with these white clothes.
Perrin being Perrin, just being so nice, just let her out, not knowing what she was going to do, what she was capable of. But I think that's all of them. I think all of them have that personality where they're kind of gullible in that way. They're willing to help anybody. They don't see the world as it is. They kind of seem outside of. They all kind of seem outside of the bubble at times. Like like they just don't know how the world operates. Egwene, all of them, where they just don't see the same sense of urgency as everybody else in the world does about the situation at hand, which really bothers me because they just like, all right, let me sit back and train. Let me stay in the tower. No, let me go help. What are you going to do? Like, you, this girl she still can't channel. Like, what are you out here for? Bothers me. Sorry. But yeah, we get into the fight scene with Perrin. What did you think about this fight scene? I really thought they really did, even though it was at nighttime again. What did you think about the fight? I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, it's Aviendha. I knew she could kick butt. So it's the ideal. They can fight. And I loved how she was like, you like to dance? I'm like, yes, she's saying to the word. Like, this scene gave me so much joy. And seeing Perrin pick up the hammer, which is significant, and also help fight the White Cloaks. Now, what did irritate me a little bit was they were taking too long introducing themselves. I'm like, y'all could have been gone instead of just introducing yourselves. I'm like, this is taking too long, and now y'all caught. Okay, fine. I mean, it was kind of obvious where they were going with that. We needed a fight scene with Aviendha to show, again, that the IU are not to play with, especially when they put their shupa up, or their the black sheath around their mouth. That's when they're like in kill mode. So that's why she's like, you like to dance, and dancing with the spears. That's a terminology that the IU will like to use. And we got to learn a little bit more about the culture with her talking with Perrin later on after they escape. But I am glad that Hopper was not in that scene. I'm not gonna lie.
I was hoping he was. Definitely hoping he was. I was hoping he was gonna get some action.
Right. It's probably too soon for that.
It's too soon. He just pretty much assigned himself to Perrin. Like, hey, I'm coming with you.
He's the best boy. He's the best boy.
But yeah, it's pretty good fight scene. Like I said, again, Perrin being who he is, saving this guy's life. I'm sure that's going to come back some type of way and bite him. And they keep saving people that keeps coming back.
Just remember the name Dane Borehole. That's all you need to know. And the fact that he recognized him from the Two Rivers, that's significant. That's a good setup there. That's all I can really say about that. And just the fact that he was even around White Clothes, it's like, ain't this a I know he was. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's about that time. Because yeah, Perrin and the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
It's a thing. That's all I can really say.
So getting into, like, of course, Leandrin, talked to, I'm about to say Egwene, and it's not her name, Nynaeve, talked to her about, what, her and they were talking about, them going through the arches, and, her pretty much setting her up basically because she fell for it. I'm like, again, these kids are just so gullible. They keep falling for these traps.
I was shocked at Nynaeve, but I think it was one of those things where she felt she had some kind of rapport with Leandrin from back in episode 4 of last season. And I think also it's because she kind of knew that Leandrin was kind of antagonistic towards Moiraine, and she was already hating on Moiraine. So it was really easy for her to kind of latch onto her, and the fact that she kind of took interest and actually made an effort to get through her block, as well as just, having faith that she would go through the accepted test. It's one of those things where it's like, dang, Nynaeve, you fell for okie doke. Like, you were supposed to be the most mistrusting out of everybody. I could see Egwene falling for the okie doke, but you. But this was still a good setup, even though it is different as far as Leandrin setting her up, because it was kind of obvious, a little more obvious what Leandrin was like in the books, but they gave her more layers in the show, which I did appreciate. So, and plus Kate Fleetwood is killing it as Leandrin. So her scene with Lady part of that dialogue was straight from The Great Hunt. So I was like, oh, okay. But I also didn't like that they didn't include certain things from that particular scene of Egwene getting caught. I thought Nynaeve would be angry enough or scared enough to try and channel, and that didn't happen.
How was she able? So they said she channeled in the archers, obviously. She was able. That's pretty much how she was able to get herself out, because they say you're not able to do it. Nobody's able to do it. Like once you get in there. But I just don't understand how her particular power works. Like, she's supposed to be the most powerful out of all of them, and yet nothing has triggered it since that battle situation.
She has a block. She isn't someone that can easily embrace the power when she needs it. It's only when she's angry or she's really scared. And I think because she was focused on running away, it wasn't computing. But I feel like there was a little. I think with Leandrin, she was hoping that Nynaeve would just wipe them out and she wouldn't have to worry about it. That's why she let them. She kind of like unslipped, woke them up, what have you, right before she left through the way gate. She was hoping that Nynaeve would do something that maybe get her out of the situation. But she wound up not doing that. And poor Egwene, this was what I was dreading last week. I knew it was coming, but this was something I was dreading, and Egwene, my girl, Egwene, she.
How y'all keep getting caught? Like, I don't understand. Like, every week, just keep getting caught. Like, somebody's getting.
I feel like the White Cloaks ain't got nothing, because now she's leashed. The slavery undertones.
So I what I did not expect this episode was that it kind of be like women who can channel but are evil.
According to the Sanchan, they are not necessarily evil, but it's kind of like how they're afraid of men that can channel, but they have a way to control the women that can channel versus letting them be like Aes Sedai. Because you see how Leandrin turned out, and just you can see how sometimes power can corrupt and wreak havoc around the world, or even among politicians and stuff like that. So for them to be on a leash, that keeps them under control. And then you can use them as weapons. They don't have to worry about the O's. They can use the power as a weapon. And then, of course, Leandrin, she said she broke the O's. Well, how did she break the O's? And we see Perrin investigating, and we find out through this episode that the Black Ajah exists. So this is what Leandrin is. Or we can conclude that that's what Leandrin is, because Leandrin was lying all up through the highway when she was talking to Perrin. And Perrin is a clever girl. That's my girl right there. That Perrin's a real one. My brown. That's my brown sister. Literally. Because she's from the Brown Ajah. And then with Jessica is played by Katie Lang or Katie Long. She was Cho in Harry Potter.
What? Oh.
Yeah, we got Cho in another fantasy show. I'm like, Cho, that's Cho.
They getting all the big ones. Getting all the big ones. Like we're still talking about that scene with Leandrin, and like, obviously seeing this heel turn come a mile away. You know, I really can't tell with her. Like, is she like a double agent at this point? Is she working with the crew? Because that makes more sense as to why she would have let Egwene and not even all of them give themselves an opportunity to let the go.
I think because of how I think in her own way, she respects Nynaeve and she actually cares for her, but at the same time, she's loyal to the dark. So it's one of those things where, hey, I said I did my duty in giving them to you. If they escape, ain't my problem. So I think that's how she kind of rationalized it.
The dark side must got some good dental and health benefits. Everybody be signing up all of a sudden. They must got like a sign-in bonus or something. Like you get a house and a cart for free or something like that if you join the dark side.
I mean, the dark one is very tempting as far as like trying to give you what you want, especially if you feel like you're suffering in the world, if you feel like, this world isn't doing it for you. Yeah, you would be tempted if the dark was like, hey, well, if you want my team, I can make sure everything changes and you good. So that would be very tempting. So we explored even last year with Dana, like her reasoning for turning to the dark. We're actually really exploring a little bit, which I appreciate, like these different people, why they're turning to the dark and their reasoning for it. Like we don't really get Lady Sorof's reasoning, but you can kind of glean that she's ambitious, especially since she wants to kill Turak. So it's one of those things where people have different reasons for joining.
Right.
And it could either work in their favor or they can still get screwed at the end. So
and we're gonna see. This is another one of my favorite parts of the show is where we get into a Harry Potter battle. When everybody's throwing spells and the shields on the paper. I thought this was very well done. It looked really good. Shout out to the the effects department, animation, whoever does this incredible job. It looks good. This is an Amazon budget and it shows, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I did appreciate the weaves that were used in the capture of Egwene. It actually lets you know that some of the Sanshin don't know everything, and I think as we get as the show progresses, we kind of see different people what they learn, maybe that they're more proficient at as far as the one power versus others, and how that works. Like everyone has their crutches. The Aes Sedai have their crutch. The Sanshin have their crutch when it comes to the one power, and other people that we haven't met yet, but that are probably coming. But you're gonna start to see kind of like differences in what they can kind of do with the one power, which is interesting.
One of my notes here is Egwene cannot catch a break. Because it seems like like I said, like it seems like she's always kind of, I don't want to use this. She's kind of always kind of the damsel in distress, and her friend has to come save her. Like what I mean, and she can channel, but as we see in the scene here, they have some type of like mutant collar here that negates your power, and they're able to either control you or like just kind of zap you a little bit from what I can see.
I have a feeling we're going to get more exposition next week, and it's going to be, it's going to be rough. That I can't. You already kind of gleaned from the first few seconds as the collar went on her, as she started, not gyrating, but gasping, or what's the word? Not jitters. Kind of like when someone has epilepsy or something like that. She was convulsing, in pain, what looks like pain. So the person that controls the leash can do things. I can't say what. Again, we'll probably get more exposition next week, which I am dreading, but looking forward to at the same time because, again, the acting. So I can't say much more.
I'll just kind of travel through the rest of this, and then I'm gonna jump back because it was some stuff that it was like little sprinkles in between that I kind of went over, but then I'll go back to them if you guys paid it. So we get into the conversation between Selene about them and kind of navigating through the dream world, which we're seeing they have pretty much power over this space. And what they can do. Very, very good visual representation of what was going on. As we see them and Rand kind of all in the same room just talking. And it's just amazing what they were able to do here. And we see him kind of wake back up, and he comes right back to what he's doing. And then Rand and Moiraine come up with the smart idea to jump back into Freddy's lair and try to and try to see if they can kind of rope her back in, because somehow they're gonna try to play the love card, I think, which is going on here, and see if her feelings for him are stronger than her service to the Dark One. So we kind of leave off here with Rand and Selene just kind of meeting up, and like she's been waiting for him to do it the entire time. And that's kind of where we stop there. It looks really, really good. Seemed like you were really excited to see like this dream part coming. Like, did this kind of hit all the corners for you? Like, hit all the everything that you need to see?
Well, they've been hinting at the dream world since season 1.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm glad that we actually have a term for it. We actually know that this is what this is. I can talk about it now, or at least have the official term for it, teleramyard. So I can talk. Moiraine did say what it was, teleramyard. Right. But you can also say the dream world. It's the same thing. But Selene or Lanfear is proficient. She's the daughter of the night. She's probably one of the Forsaken that's really good in the dream world. And Ishamael is good too, because you can see from the dreams that he's able to perpetuate that he's really good at it too. And I'm glad that Rand is more cognizant of the dream world, because I feel like that wasn't really executed or expounded upon as well in the book. So I'm glad that he's kind of knowing what it is. And so when what happens later, he has kind of an understanding of it versus what we got in the books. So I do appreciate kind of like how they're introducing it with him. And then we can get more into the dream world. I'm really excited about the dream world, y'all. Oh. It's a little complicated, but this is another element of the books that's really good. I can't say much more than that, but I do want to touch on the conversation with Ishii and Lanfear, because it was a really good conversation, and there were name drops of others from Forsaken that we have yet to meet. But I got really excited when she mentioned Moghedien and Grendel, because they were some humdingers, and I love the tongue in cheek that they did when they were talking like the men they can't execute a plan. I love their controls. It's a running joke. As far as the effectiveness of the Forsaken in the book, so I was laughing at that.
Yeah, everything is just kind of like you said, like just kind of hitting. Like you said, you got that foreknowledge of like kind of everybody that's coming or what they're capable of. And we went from threat level Omega of we're gonna unleash the Dark One, the one, to now we're just pretty much we're just letting out his generals too. We haven't gotten to him yet. Just to see like how powerful they are so far and what they can do. How are they going to be able to stop? How our heroes going to be able to stop them, and like, do they even have the time? How is the show going to like pace that out?
I can't really say, but they do emphasize the fact that the 5 are important and how they're manipulating to make sure that they aren't there for Rand, because they want him to break. They want him to, go to the dark side versus actually trying to save the world. And so the less people that are around him that can support him, like the girls, like Perrin, like Matt, the better. So we really got a clear idea that these 5 are important, and they're important to Rand in this last fight for the last battle.
What is Matt's purpose?
I can't get into that yet. But Matt's important.
I don't know. I mean, obviously he has to be, because for them to have keep men with him to this extent. And now, of course, I'm not sure if it's this episode or the one before, but like we know her pretty much what she wanted was to have the divisions taken away, that power that her people have. She doesn't want to deal with that burden anymore.
So men is important. Those visions can be a good thing. So having her try and be lured to the dark to help get rid of that power is very good. And at the end of the day, that leaves them that much closer to winning. So Ishamael using the Sanshin to fight for the dark versus Lord Turak trying to say that they're trying to fight for the light. Nah, bro, you're being manipulated. So there's just a lot of things. There are a lot of pieces that they're moving, which is really it makes them more effective, in my opinion. And he did mention a fight in the sky that Perrin mentioned back in episode 2. So there was just a lot of stuff in that conversation that was just really good, and I'm really glad they had that, because they do have little talks, and the fact that Selene was like, "You think I'm going to betray you?" Again, the Forsaken have their own ambitions, their own agendas, so that part was very on par. Like, this was really well done.
Yeah, acting was on point in this scene.
It was definitely on point. Even Josha, even though he was like the sideline.
You gonna portray me, girl? Yeah, you already know.
No, but just him acting like an extra person, like that was really good too. That was very Josha. He knows what he's doing. I love him as Rand.
What? So maybe I went on my head. There's a box that's presented as a gift, and Turak is saying that it's going to help him take over the world. I'm not. I guess again, we can't get into that, but like the importance of this box, like for them to, seems like this is something that he's probably been looking for a while. They don't really explain it in too much detail.
Well, this is the Horn of the Lear, and this is a downside with this season because the Great Hunt was about the Horn of the Lear and the hunt for it. You kind of got glimpses of the hunt for the Horn of the Lear back in Carian, and even that's what Perrin and the Shinorans were pretty much after, because that's what Padan Fain took in the season finale. But this is a negative. They haven't really explained the importance of the Horn of the Lear, and why we need it and why it's important. That part hasn't been really explained very well, and it's kind of like I feel like they're going to rush and explain it. So things happen that conclude the way that they conclude, and at the end of season 2 that kind of goes along the lines of what happens in book 2. So that part, yeah, I'm not too happy about. They could have done better with that. They could have given us more focus on that a little bit. But hopefully we'll get something in the next 3 episodes.
How many episodes will be? 8?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we got 6, 7, and 8.
Jeez, it's about to go fast.
Facts.
Jumping back to the scene with Lan and his brother husbands. As we're, I don't know if he's actually going to jump into that trio.
Oh, well, I mean, Lan wasn't even in this episode. I don't know what's going on with Lan. They need to get it together with Lan. Like, that part is a little bit, is that necessary? But then it's like, what could he have really done in the last 2 episodes if he was with Moiraine? It's kind of like he needed to be separated from her.
For sure. Yeah. Obviously, it's somehow I don't know if the show is really hinting at him being the water to Nynaeve at some point. I hope it happens. That'd be cool when she actually freaking knows how to use her power. It would be nice. But I just mentioned that because before, that was obviously how we found out who Selene was from the previous. They found that running through that man's bags. By the way, they found the note or the little parchment that was in his bag, and it was XYZ. But I was hoping he would have had more time here. And I just mentioned that because again, like you said, he probably wouldn't have helped at all in this situation.
There's not much he could have done in this case. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next few episodes, but something tells me that he will probably try and be with Moiraine despite the fact that she pushed him away. So sure. I just don't know for sure. Just because there was a picture that they kind of advertised that makes me think they're going to be together. So, and I did notice this was another Easter egg as they were galloping in the night, or the stones that they like Celine was passing by and they were kind of like hidden in the bushes, but then on the other side of that road there was like a stone that had writing on it. Easter egg. I think I know what that is. And oh boy, if we get what I think we're gonna get, that should be very. I don't know how they're gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. But
They
that should
got
be
3.
very interesting if we do that. Unless that was just the only thing. That's the only time we're really gonna see it.
Right.
I'll be interested in seeing what they. I don't know what's gonna happen, y'all. I don't know what's gonna happen. But let me know in the comments. Just put spoiler warning. If you're gonna spoil the books, let me know what your thoughts on if we're gonna get what I think we're gonna get.
What was the name of the older Aes Sedai that came and was doing the inspection that was looking for Nynaeve and Gwen?
Perrin, brown
Perrin.
sister. Yeah.
Clearly she's super smart. She obviously she already has knowledge of like everything because she's talked to, but like she came in and she's already on it. Like you really about to have me go on this wild goose chase. You really about to have me come up these. Like, come on, like you can see the look on her face and everything that's going on. No, the show. I guess the show. They have like a log of kind of everybody coming and going. They saying like there's Aes Sedai kind of leaving. Are they getting like taken or like are they just like on random missions?
Well, I think Sharon was just trying to get an idea of the novices and accepted that either around or taking a leave of absence or just something so they can keep track of them.
Okay.
Because they're girls and they're in training. You kind of like you can't just have them go off and just disappear. So so Sheriam, from what it sounds like, being compelled to write what she wrote is interesting. Because it seems, at least to me, that that's what Leandrin did. But Varen's my girl, so she's definitely a good character, and I'm glad that what we got so far from her is really good. Like it's giving us another Ajah to kind of root for because they're smart, they're book smart, and they like books.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, like those two entire performance was pretty good. Leandrin, she's going to be on my bad list until she proves me otherwise. She already has like a villainous face going on, but
well, just you wait. There's someone coming in season 3, and the casting is going to be child.
Let's get a season 3. I feel like we waited for so long for this. Like I said, just being able to see more of Moiraine and her family, her finally have the scene where she just kind of sits down finally and talks to her sister after like an entire hour. We're just like, look, because at first she was like, look, you gotta get up out of here. You can't stay here. I got other stuff going on in my life right now. You can't be here. But we finally see them talk and really get into that and learn a little bit more about her nephew and other characters in there. And then like I said, we have so many different drops. Everybody had like a little minute here and there throughout the episode. But I feel like the standouts for me were definitely the fights, the two match scene, and just learning a little bit more about how these Aes Sedai operate and what the other side of the world is doing outside of the group. And as we're getting ready for this war that we clearly cannot avoid for the 15th time. But was there any questions that you did anything you wanted to get into, or did I?
Well, I mean, we didn't get Matt this episode, so I'm hoping we get him next episode. A lot more Matt. I'm really hoping we get a lot more Matt in
It's only been like
in the next episode. So that's what I'm hoping for. Again, we didn't see Lan. I'm hoping we see Lan at least to see if he catches up with Moiraine or what is he doing. But yeah, definitely meeting Aviendha. This was a good introduction to her. Getting a slight glimpse into Aiel ways with Jiito, because she owes him for saving her life or letting her go.
Life debt.
It's kind of like an honor system. Like, you did something for me. Now I need to do something for you, kind of a thing. But it's kind of, they take it to a whole nother level, the Aiel. So we're probably going to learn more about the Aiel probably next season. But we'll see glimpses here and there through the introduction of Aviendha and her hanging with Perrin. I did like the little flirtation because low key, even though I know what happens to these characters as far as like romances and stuff,
Right.
I was like, okay, I can see this in another universe. Like I could totally see this happening. But there are reasons why it can't really happen. But I like the tease. I like the flirtation of it because I'm like, Perrin, I mean, I know your wife's dead because, I mean, you got to live, bruh.
It's been about a year. I mean, you know. So,
People need to take the time to grieve how they want, like however long they need to grieve. Don't get it twisted.
I can't want to be there anyway.
But I guess for me, because of what I see, what I know, it's kind of like, yeah, I think it's time to move on, baby. It's time to move on.
Yeah, it's been months. We can get this going. But yeah, like I said, it was great episode. All the visual episodes, like I said, everything was packed into this neat hour. I had a really great time. Like I said, my favorite episode this season, really episode 5. Still got 3 episodes. I'm really, like you said, I know you're looking for more Matt, but I hope I don't really need an entire 60 minutes of Matt.
It doesn't need to be the entire episode, but I hope we get more Matt and Min, because that's again a duo that I actually want to see, because that's a friendship that I kind of wish was a little more prevalent in the book. So I want that opportunity to see them like that, as well as maybe Matt figuring out what Min is up to and still deciding to help her. Because I mean, Matt is one of those people that will reluctantly help you, but he'll help you. Especially if he's loyal, if he has some sort of loyalty to you, which I think at the end of the day he does to the friends, especially from the Two Rivers. So it's just, we need to bring that out of him. And ironically, like he was really annoying in book 1 and 2. So we're kind of getting the annoying Matt right now, but we are going to get cool Matt, and I hope I got glimpses of it, but hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more cool Matt next episode.
I hope so. But as you know, guys, like I said, if we hit every nail on the head here, if you have more questions, please leave us comments below on both of the videos posted on both channels for Team JVS and Big Gold Belt. We're gonna be posted on, as you've seen last week, on both channels. Leave questions. I would love to talk about them a little bit into the next episode, and we could just kind of pick up your questions and talk about it a little bit, in the next episode, as we get into the rest of the season. Like I said, really enjoyed it. Nat, did you have anything else that you wanted to bring to the table?
No, I'm just looking forward to next week. Like seriously, I want it to be here like right now. Like I want episode 6 now.
Ready. Look, every Friday, guys, come back. We're gonna have these episodes. We're gonna have these reviews, these spoiler reviews up and ready for you. Come listen to us. Come talk with us. Leave comments, and we'll see you guys next time for episode 6 of the Wheel of Time. See you.
Bye.
Love Hopper.
Love Hopper.
Falling out the top of the I can see the skyline, 50-mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord.